Why do forests make us feel calm? Why do we feel so calm when we visit a forest? When we walk among tall trees or look at green landscapes, our complicated thoughts begin to quiet down. Even worries that do not easily fade in the noise of the city begin to quiet down in a forest. It is not simply because the air is fresh. Behind this feeling are both human evolution and mathematics. Long ago, humans had to survive in a dangerous natural world. Wild animals, cold weather, and hunger were always nearby. People who could quickly notice danger and react to small changes were more likely to survive. In a way, we are descendants of ancestors who were highly sensitive to danger and anxiety. Although anxiety can feel unpleasant, it was also an important ability that helped humans survive. So, when do people feel anxious? Psychologists say that anxiety often comes from the past or the future rather than the present. For example, someone who has experienced a serious accident may become nervous in similar situations later on. Memories from the past can make us imagine dangers in the future. People also become anxious when they cannot predict what might happen next. Let us imagine visiting an unfamiliar place or going alone to a gathering where we do not know anyone. In unfamiliar situations, our bodies naturally become tense. Strangely, however, forests often feel familiar, even when we visit them for the first time. Even deep in the mountains, forests can feel familiar and comforting. One reason for this may be the fractals hidden in nature. Fractals are structures in which small parts resemble the whole. If we look closely at tree branches, we can see smaller branches growing from larger ones, and even smaller branches growing from those. Leaf veins repeat similar forms, and rivers and streams branch in similar ways as well. The entire forest and its smaller parts follow similar repeating rules. Over many thousands of years, human eyes and brains evolved to recognize these natural patterns as familiar. Because of this, when we see fractal structures in forests, our brains unconsciously recognize them as familiar and calming. Because similar patterns repeat throughout nature, our brains can roughly predict what they will see next. People naturally feel calmer in situations that seem predictable. In fact, some studies show that looking at fractal motifs can reduce stress and help calm the heart rate. Fractals are not the only reason forests feel calming. Forests contain many other elements that help relax both the body and the mind. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. Because of this, it often feels easier to breathe in a forest. Trees also release natural substances called phytoncides to protect themselves, and these substances are believed to help reduce stress and relieve fatigue. Sound also plays an important role. Cities are filled with the noise of traffic and machines, but forests are filled with the sounds of rustling leaves, birds chirping, and flowing water. These natural sounds are usually around 40 to 50 decibels, which is considered especially comfortable for human hearing. In addition, plants in forests absorb noise, making forests feel even quieter overall. Green also has a calming effect on us. Green is one of the colors humans have seen most often since prehistoric times. Studies suggest that looking at green landscapes increases alpha waves in the brain, which are linked to calm and relaxed states of mind. That is why we often feel calm and relaxed when we look at green nature. There have also been many studies showing that forests have positive effects on people. At a hospital in Pennsylvania, patients staying in rooms with views of forests reportedly recovered faster than patients without those views. At a prison in Michigan, prisoners in rooms facing forests were observed to have fewer illnesses and accidents. Scientists may not yet understand every reason, but it seems clear that nature has positive effects on both the human body and mind. Today, we spend most of our time surrounded by buildings and smartphone screens. As a result, our brains are constantly exposed to new information and stimulation. But the fractal patterns and green landscapes of forests slowly help release our tension. We do not need to travel deep into the mountains to experience this effect. Simply looking at roadside trees or sitting beneath a tree in a park can gradually help our minds feel calmer. If your mind feels tired or overwhelmed today, why not look at a tree for a moment instead of a smartphone screen? The hidden fractal patterns within its branches may quietly help ease your stress.